Hey y'all! Today I'll be sharing a quick tutorial for this crochet flower bookmark. I recently posted a very bare bones tutorial as a short here on YouTube. Check that out if you want an even quicker version of this tutorial. But I thought that it'd be nice to post a proper tutorial as well, where I can show y'all the stitches better and actually talk about the project. I'd say this is an easy project. If you've crocheted a few things before, it shouldn't be a problem for you, but if you're a total beginner, it might be a little challenging, especially since the stitches are so small. I think these bookmarks are so cute and would make the perfect Christmas gift since they use so little yarn and work up so quickly. There are two versions. The first is this leaf version, and the second is exactly the same. You just add this little flower part on top. You'll need up to 3 colors of fingering or sport weight yarn for this project. If you're just making the leaf version, you'll only need 1 color, but if you're making the flower version, you'll need 3. I'm just using scrap yarn, and if you have any scrap yarn, I think you should use it too. This is the perfect project for scrap yarn since it's so small. My white and yellow yarn are sport weight, but my green yarn is actually lace weight, so I'm just holding it double to get it closer to the right size. It's really flexible, so if you have lace weight, fingering weight, or sport weight yarn, you're good. Then you'll need a 2.75mm crochet hook, a darning needle, and a pair of scissors. Next, we can go over the stitches and abbreviations you'll need to know for this tutorial. Chain, stitch or stitches, slip stitch, half double crochet, double crochet, and 3 double crochet cluster. We'll go over that one more in depth during the tutorial. The length of your bookmark is totally up to you, but the width at the widest part is about 1 1/4 inch, and the thickness is about 1/8 of an inch. And after all that, we're ready to get into the tutorial. So we're gonna start with our green yarn and our crochet hook. You're gonna make a slip knot, and then chain 3. Then in the 3rd chain from your hook, you're going to make a 3 double crochet cluster. So to make a 3 double crochet cluster, you're going to yarn over, insert your hook into that chain, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, insert your hook into that same chain, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, insert your hook into that same chain, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. You should have 4 loops on your hook. You're going to yarn over and pull through all 4 loops. And that is a 3 double crochet cluster. Now we'll chain 3. And then we're going to slip stitch in the back bump of the 3rd chain from our hook. So this is the 3rd chain from our hook. Turn it over and you'll see this back bump right here. Insert your hook through that back bump, pull up a loop, and bring it through the loop on your hook. Then chain 3. And now we're going to slip stitch in this very first starting chain where we put our 3 double crochet cluster. So you see this kind of space right here. We're going to slip stitch in that space. Just like that. And now we have our first little leaf. So now we're just going to chain until we like the length of our bookmark. I like to do 60 chains, but you can do however many you want, however long you want. Keep in mind that your chain is going to shrink a little bit. When we go back, we're going to go back and slip stitch through each chain on the way back. And that will make your chain shrink a little bit, so make your chain a little bit longer than what you want your finished bookmark length to be. So like I said, I like to do 60 chains, but you can do whatever you want. Then once your chain is the length that you like, we're going to chain 3 more. And we're going to create another 3 double crochet cluster in the 3rd chain from our hook. So yarn over, insert your hook into the 3rd chain from your hook, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, insert your hook into the same chain, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, insert your hook into the same chain, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. You should have 4 loops on your hook, yarn over, and pull through all 4 loops. And there's another 3 double crochet cluster. Now chain 3, slip stitch into the back loop of the 3rd chain from your hook, chain 3, and slip stitch into that same chain where we put our 3 double crochet cluster. And there's our second leaf. Now we're going to slip stitch in every chain all the way back to our first leaf that we made. So don't skip this first chain here. It's kind of hard to see, but make sure you slip stitch in that first chain. Then slip stitch in the next chain. And just keep going until you reach the first leaf that you made. And then once you get to the end, make sure you don't skip this last chain either. So now we'll chain 3. We'll do another 3 double crochet cluster in the 3rd chain from the hook. Chain 3. Slip stitch into the back bump of the 3rd chain from your hook. Chain 3. And slip stitch in that same chain where you placed your 3 double crochet cluster. And there's our 3rd and final leaf. Now we'll slip stitch into the very first starting chain where we placed our first 3 double crochet cluster, so right here. And now to finish off, we'll do an invisible fasten off. So we have just finished our last slip stitch. You're going to cut your yarn and then pull your yarn tail through the slip stitch, just like that. Your yarn tail doesn't have to be as long as mine. Since I was holding my yarn double, I measured out my yarn beforehand and then just cut it so that I could hold it double easier, and I knew that I would have enough. So that's why my yarn tail is so long, but just letting y'all know that your yarn tail does not have to be this long. It could just be maybe a couple inches like that. So you're going to take your darning needle and thread your yarn tail through the darning needle. And then you're going to bring your darning needle through the top of your 3 double crochet cluster. Pull the yarn through, and then you're going to bring your yarn through the center of the last slip stitch you made, and then out the back of your leaf. Pull tight, and there you've created an invisible finish. Now you can weave in these 2 tails, and if you're creating a leaf bookmark today, then you'd be done at this point. If you're going to make the flower bookmark though, then you can move on to the next steps. Next, we're going to make the yellow center part of the flower, so make sure you have your yellow yarn handy. And the first step of this is actually the most complicated part. So you're going to take your crochet hook and you're going to insert it through this second to last slip stitch that you made. It can be a little tight, but you should be able to get your crochet hook through the center of it, just like that. Then next, you're going to insert your crochet hook through the last slip stitch that you made. Again, it can be kind of tight, but you should be able to get your hook through it. So you should have 2 loops on your hook, and for this whole yellow center part of the flower, we'll be working through both of these loops at the same time. So grab your yellow yarn and bring it through both loops. Then chain 1. And then we'll place 6 half double crochets through both of those loops. So yarn over, insert your hook through both loops, pull up a loop, yarn over, and pull through all 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over, insert your hook through both loops, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops on your hook. And you'll just do that till you have 6 half double crochets. and then just chain 1 to fasten off. I'm going to weave in my yellow yarn tails really quick, and then we can work on the petals. Now for the last part of our bookmark, we're going to add the petals. So insert your crochet hook into the first half double crochet you made in the last row. Grab your white yarn, pull it through, and chain 2. Now double crochet in that same stitch. Chain 3. Then slip stitch in that same stitch. Then slip stitch in the next stitch. Chain 2. Double crochet in the same stitch. Chain 3. And slip stitch in the same stitch. And you'll just repeat that till the end of the row, and you'll end up with 6 petals. Then once you finish your 6th petal, you can just chain 1 to fasten off. And when you cut your yarn away, you'll want to leave just a couple inches like I did over here as well, because we're going to sew the first and last petals to their corresponding leaves. I think it just makes it sturdier, and it helps, you know, your flower from kind of doing that. So it is optional, but you have to weave these ends in anyways. So I think it's just a really easy thing to do that makes your bookmark look that much better. So we can start with the first petal. So I am going to bring my yarn through the bottom of the petal from back to front. Oh, I'm stuck on a petal. There we go. Okay, back to front. And then I'm going to bring the yarn through the top of the leaf from front to back. Just like that. And then I am going to weave my yarn tail in the back of my flower, just like I normally would. And I can cut the excess away. And now we can do the last petal. So again, I'm going to bring my yarn tail through the bottom of my petal from back to front. And then I'll bring the yarn tail through the top of this leaf from front to back. And then I'll weave the tail in on the back of my flower like normal. And again, I'll cut the excess away. So that's all it takes to secure your petals to your leaves. So I think, you might as well do it. You have to weave those ends in anyways, and it's really easy. And that's your bookmark all finished. So I hope y'all enjoyed this tutorial. If you did, then remember to give it a like and consider subscribing for more crochet tutorials. As always, I want to give a shout out to my channel members. Thank you so much for your support. It really means the world to me. If you'd like to become a channel member and get access to special perks, then you can click the join button down below or find the link in the description. I hope y'all have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!